Hello and welcome to the West Wales Karting Virtual Championship using the Ginetta G40s as ever. Today we are here at the Watkins Glen International Short Circuit in the USA. It's a 2.52 mile 8-turn circuit and we're here for round 6. And if we look at the point standings now, it's Scuderia Sam, who has won the last couple of races. He's managed to establish a healthy points margin over Alex CDL in second. Cherryberry, who was not present for the last round, and neither is he today. He is still holding up in third there, ahead of D-Man, Stuart, Unfixed Throne and Chris Doherty, who are having an excellent fight for 4th, 5th and 6th and 7th there. And we're on the grid now and waiting for the green light. And it's go here at Watkins Glen. Oh, and Chris Doherty has had a flying start, but I think he's jumped the start there. He's going to get a penalty for that one. And he's down the inside of Scuderia Sam and his teammate there, and it's 3 abreast going into turn 1, and they all go in. Oh, and Chris gets on the curb and he hits D-Man and Scuderia Sam off slightly, and they've lost momentum, and now that's Alex CDL in the mix now going up the hill from turn 1. It's going to be crucial to get a slipstream and a good exit up here. And we see there Chris trying to go around the outside of Alex. He didn't quite get through. Oh, and that's Stuart Davis off. Stuart Davis collides with the Big Bad Wolf, and Baz Linger is in that mix as well. And I think Stuart's lost his bonnet, and BDC Zidane has disappeared from sight, so I think he was involved there too. We might see a replay of that possibly. And there's Chris Doherty now. Oh, and he hits his teammate. He gives him a shunt up the rear, and now he's on 2 wheels spinning out. And it's all kicking off here on lap 1. And Scuderia Sam now is right behind Alex CDL, and he's looking through on the inside now. And he gets on the curb, a bit of a slide there going on, and he's on the outside now though for the next corner. So Alex CDL's got the inside line, and it's all kicking off here, Stuart.
Yeah, a bit of action-packed start there. We've got Alex CDL, he's down the inside of Scuderia Sam now, very, very close coming to the end of the first lap. And looking at, I think BTC Sidani got tangled up in that incident going up the hill there with Baz, Big Bad Wolf and Stuart Davis. Of course, Chris Doherty and we do know BTC Sedan as well, both got drive-throughs at the end of this lap, both for jumping the start. And Scuderia Sam, he's gone over the start-finish line down into turn 1. Is he going to be ahead of Alex when they get there? I think looks to me as though the move's already done. And there's Unfixed Throne there patiently watching in the background, just keeping tabs ready to pick up on any indiscretion or mistake there. And
yeah, it was a good drive out of the last corner for Scuderia Sam, which gave him the chance to overtake Alex into turn 1. But now Alex has got the slipstream coming up the hill, and this is all so crucial coming up the hill here. To be in that slipstream, it gives you a really good chance into the chicane. You can gain a good 0.3 of a second or so up that hill. And while those two battle, it's going to give D-Man 221 up ahead in the green machine a little bit of a chance to pull away, isn't it?
Yes, of course, he'll be happy to be there at the moment, a bit relieved after a couple of incidents with his teammates. So, although they're quite far apart in the championship, well, not in terms of points, but certainly in terms of positions, there's obviously no team orders at Team Ireland there. And there's Stuart Davis coming around. He's picked his bonnet back up on his way up the hill along the straight. And as you can see, the picture is ever so slightly jumpy, but I don't know if this ties in with what some of the issues some of the drivers have had. We know that although a lot of them have just decided to go with the loose setup for this race, there is a couple of handling issues, not too dissimilar to what we saw back at Willow Springs, where some of the drivers are just finding the cars are just absolutely just snapping on them during the race. So,
yeah, it's a bit of a strange one really, isn't it? Something to do with the maybe the Project Cars game, and we see Baz Ninja there. He seems to be jumping about the place as well. He had a bit of an off, I think. Oh, and this is Scuderia Sam. He's got a great run up the hill on D-Man 221 now. Look, so he's all in the mirrors there of D-Man, and D-Man's going to have his job cut out now to try and hold him back into the chicane. But the chicane is not an easy place to overtake. So you get that run up the hill, but then you've actually got to make that move stick as well without contact, and that's going to be a tricky thing to do. And Scuderia Sam's looking down the inside, but he thinks better of it, and D-Man saw it coming, covered him off, and is going to live to fight for another day. And now this has put Alex CDL on the back, so it's a 3-way battle for the lead here, Stuart.
Yeah, very, very close, and Sam, I think, wisely backing out of that last move there. That chicane's a very narrow angle, but he's going to have another go at D-Man. Sort of loitering in the middle of the circuit there, not really. He's holding his defensive line by the looks of it, and he cuts back across in front of Sam. It's yeah, fantastic battle. 4/10 of a second between the top 3 drivers. And once again, Unfixed Throne loitering in the background there, just keeping a close watch on things. And Sam's going to have to be careful here as we're on board with Alex. As we've seen in previous races, it's not the position you want to be in. You know, you've got to try and make that move stick at the front, and at the same time, you just got to watch behind. And Sam, is he looking down the inside? I'm not sure if he's close enough this time around.
Yeah, it looked like he was maybe just trying to distract D-Man a little bit, but D-Man isn't someone who gets distracted very easily, as we've seen in the races. He won our first event, of course, and head up the hill again now as he's still right on board with Alex CDL, and he's going to get an absolutely fantastic tow from the back of them here. And this is exactly what we want to see in the opening stages of a race, this three-way battle for the lead. Stuart Davis probably would have been up there too if it wasn't for his shunt at the start with BTC Sedan. And Scooter Sam's looking down the inside again. Is he going to make it? Oh, he backs out again. He wasn't quite close enough, and he's going to try and get the switch back now. But there's no way through here. It's kind of single file. And now Alex CDL has got a run on Scooter Sam as he tries to go around the outside here in this very fast, very long right-hander. And you need to get a good exit out of here too, because that feeds into the straight which goes into the penultimate corner and the last corner. And you don't want to run wide coming out of this penultimate corner, do you, Stuart? Because there's a very nasty curve waiting to catch you out there.
Oh, definitely. If you do find yourself running wide, you just want to make sure you get the whole car over that curve. If you go and catch your rear wheel on it, you're just going to go straight round. And not too dissimilar here with the inside curve on the last corner there. If you catch that with the inside front and the inside rear, then yeah, round you go. And across the line now, we come to start lap 5 now. And yeah, unfixed throne in the background there, dropping back ever so slightly. And looking back, we've got BTC Sedan and oh, Alex has run a little bit wide there. Sam's going up the hill. Is he going to force the issue with D-Man and try and go side by side? He's got a good run on him. D-Man closes his door, but Sam once again will be in that slipstream, and I can't see a way how he's going to get through here. The only place he's really close enough, unless he does a dive at turn 1, is to just try and make a move into the chicane stick. And here he goes, he's closer than ever this time round. And as they come into the braking zone, looks like he's going to hold it this time round, and he's done it. Great move by Scuderia Sam there, fantastic. Hopefully the guys behind him will be able to keep on tabs on now, because he has been very quick, and Alex is up the inside of D-Man as well. D-Man's going to try and hold around the outside, but I think Alex has got it done there in the number 38. But that's a fight that I don't think is going to be over anytime soon between those two. They've both been very equal. And D-Man 221, is he going to have a look into the penultimate corner there? No, I think it's better of it. But these guys are going to have to work really hard now to try and keep up with Scuderia Sam, because he has been so quick on single lap pace.
Yeah, definitely. It was actually really, really close in qualifying, wasn't it? There was about, I think, just over a tenth of a second separating the top 4 drivers on the grid. It was absolutely incredible when you think about it. D-Man obviously got that pole position just ahead of Scuderia Sam, and I think it was maybe half a tenth separating Scuderia Sam, Alex CDL and Chris Doherty all on the grid. So yeah, it's extremely close. It could have been any of those 4, to be honest, on pole. Just throw Stuart Davis in the mix there as well. BTC Dan has had good pace here as well, and Fixed Drone, of course, he's had very good pace. He's only 5 seconds off the lead still, and on lap 6 here, so he's not too far behind at all. And when all the pit stops shake out and stuff, and if the 3 ahead get into some sort of battle or carnage between them, Unfixed Drone could be picking up the scraps here, and he's putting himself in a very good position indeed. But he could be under attack later in the race from drivers with faster pace who are will be coming at him. But we'll see how the race unfolds. And D-Man 221, of course, he's lost a couple of positions, but he's got the pace to hang on with the front 2 at the moment. He's just 1.5 seconds off the lead, but they are starting to spread out a little bit compared to what they were. And as you said, Stuart, now they've got to live with Scuderia Sam. But it's worth mentioning that these drivers are doing this race in the middle of a heat wave in the UK here, and it's absolutely sweltering work, isn't it?
Yeah, we've had a couple of the drivers saying that they're really struggling, especially those who've got the full sim rig setups. They're dealing with all the force feedback. As you said, the heat is unbearable. You're talking 30 plus degrees here at the moment, not a breath of wind here. Obviously Team Ireland are a little bit further away than some of us, but as far as we're aware, it's pretty similar conditions over there. So, but yeah, certainly down in West Wales, it's absolutely sweltering. So yeah, it's a good challenge for all the drivers. This will be the hardest race that they've done so far, I would imagine. There's Big Bad Wolf. We know he's driving on a sim rig setup. He's most of the time got his pet dogs around him as well, keeping him company during the race. And he is 19 seconds off the lead, and yeah, he's lapping consistently, if not particularly quick. Scuderia Sam is absolutely flying out front, with only really D-Man and Alex matching him. Pulled out a 1.5 seconds to Unfixed Throne. And yeah, looking back down the field there, we've got Baz the Ninja. He's having a solid race actually, in 6th position. He's had a few issues recently, most of the time to do with connections. But as we say, sometimes, you know, as cars do have mechanical failures, you know, if you have connections issues, it's a similar sort of thing in the virtual racing world. With Scuderia Sam, here he comes, in first one to blink at the front. So he'll be hoping to come out into at least a few laps worth of clear traffic and be able to put pedal to the metal. And there we go, relinquishing third place to Unfixed Throne there. And Stuart
Yeah, we
Davis
see
is
sometimes
now a minute
with...
off the lead. He has made his pit stop, and round he goes again.
Oh, and his boot's open now, and whoever's going to come behind him is probably hoping that boot shuts before Stuart Davis's shopping falls out all over, and he'll be throwing some bananas out on the circuit for them. But thankfully that boot is shut, and the two leaders are coming through now on him. So we'll see if Stuart Davis yields to them or whether he decides to have a little bit of a battle. We will see. But it's good to see Scuderia Sam sticking around for the first few laps for a battle, because sometimes he pits a little bit too early, doesn't he? But he had a bit of a battle, but he wasn't pulling away. He decided to get out of the frying pan, have a drink, and try again. Oh, there's a D-Man going through on Alex CDL. D-Man makes a move stick on Alex there into the fast chicane. That was a fantastic manoeuvre. And now they go through that long right-hander again. That was a great manoeuvre, wasn't it, Stuart?
Yeah, fantastic. Very opportunistic, and Stuart Davis getting out of the way there. And Alex absolutely stuck to the rear of D-Man 221 there. He's not going to let him get away. These guys very evenly matched on pace. But yeah, that's a fantastic move to make that move stick into the chicane. It's a very high speed chicane as well, even in these little GT5s. So yeah, it's very brave from D-Man, especially considering the incident he had there on lap 1 with his teammate Chris, who is now 1 minute 55 off the lead after his various shenanigans. And looks like Alex CDL, he's jumped into the pit lane there, hopefully hoping to cover off Scuderia Sam. So, but in being passed by D-Man 221 there, I would have lost him a little bit of time, so we'll have to see what kind of outlap Sam can put in. But yeah, it's looking pretty good for the man in red at the moment.
Yeah, we'll see where Alex comes back out now. As you can see, he's Scuderia Sam's 24 seconds off the lead. Alex is 20 seconds off the lead now, so it's just a few seconds separating him. So we'll switch back soon, hopefully, and see where Alex is in relation. It's going to be very close, I think, on the exit of the pit lane. So we're still looking at BTCC down there, and this is the exit of the pit lane now. Scuderia Sam, where's Alex CDL? Where is Alex? There he is. So he's just a second or so behind. So maybe Scuderia Sam made up about a second in that pit stop phase there. I think he did a 1 minute 40 outlap, which is pretty handy, to be honest. So we'll see now if these two guys will fall back or close in on D-Man, because D-Man now is out in front all by himself. A nice big cushion behind him, and he's going to be absolutely gunning it now.
Oh, for sure, and he hasn't won a race since the first event we did at Brands Hatch Indy. So he'll have a point to prove here as well, in trying to get some points, try and get into that lead battle for the top standings in the championship. But he's going to have to watch his mirrors. He's got Stuart Davis just behind him, as we saw. Yeah, he is a lap behind, but again, he's had the pace of the leaders through the race. If yeah, not the consistency, as we know, like we said, there's a few connection issues going on. But yeah, a lot of the drivers out there, they are sort of beginning to slow off ever so slightly. And look at that sun going into that last corner. You almost can't see the apex.
Yeah, this dappled effect is certainly going to affect... Oh, both run a bit wide there, look, into the wall slightly. They're going to have some battle scars on the side of their car after that one. But yeah, this dappled effect is going to play its role here at this stage of the race, because as you said, Stuart, you can hardly see the apexes here, and these curbs are nasty. You don't want to be hitting them.
No, there's certainly have the potential to send you right round. But yeah, as Alex CDL, he goes up the hill there. We are, of course, this race is going to run into the night, so they'll probably be looking forward to the sunset and get the headlights on and actually be able to see where they're going. As yeah, the Stuart Davis with his lights on already. We've got D-Man just ahead, and BTCC Dan, who's now made 2 visits to the pit lane with his drive-through and his pit stop coming up behind. And there's yeah, Unfixed Throne again. He's always there, isn't he, Unfixed Throne? Just keeping tabs on the action, seeing what's happening, and yeah, just ready to pick up any scraps.
He always puts himself in a great position, doesn't he, to benefit from any opportunities that might come his way. So don't be surprised to see Unfixed Throne nabbing a win or being a podium contender for another few more races to come in this championship. He's always there, as you said, Stuart, and now he's behind BTCC Dan, so he's going to put a lap on BTCC Dan here, and hopefully BTCC Dan will get out the way there. And of course, he's had his own battles in this race so far with Stuart Davis, and he's still ahead of Chris Doherty, who's down in 9th position, and Unfixed Throne. Oh god, that was close. Did you see that? That was BTCC Dan lost control going up the hill and nearly took out Unfixed Throne. Did you see that, Stuart?
Yeah, that was brown trousers moment for Unfixed for sure. That was, you don't get much closer than that.
that could have been seriously bad news for his podium aspirations, and it's not great news for BTCC Dan's bodywork repair aspirations either, because his rear bumper is absolutely hanging off now, and the aerodynamicists will be holding their head in their hands now looking at that. But hopefully he's going to be able to keep on going, and he goes through the fast chicane now. And yeah, Team Ireland currently hold the two most important positions in the race, first and last.
Yes, yeah, it's bookending the standings there. So I'm just watching now just to see Unfixed Throne will be coming past the pit lane any second, see if he'll be pulling in for a change of underwear, but he's looks like he's going to carry on round for another lap. He's carried on going now. He's 9 seconds off the lead now. And it's BTCC Dan, he's it's just so strange. When he's racing as Dan Holloway on the PS4 races, he's absolutely phenomenal. He's been fighting for wins, he's doesn't make mistakes, seriously quick driver. Put him on the Xbox and he goes all weebles wobble at the rear end, and he just can't seem to even keep it on track sometimes.
He has to balance it out, see Stu, that's it.
Yeah, and it's a big.
He's so good on the PS4, he has to bring it back down to the average.
Yeah, how nice of him. So it's Big Bad Wolf. He's still yet to make his pit stop. He's 22 seconds off the lead. He's again consistent, if not particularly quick. 1:22.5 on his previous lap. That was second quicker than Unfixed Throne, but of course he had his brown trousers moment with BTCC Dan. But Big Bad Wolf is going to have to be careful. He's got Scuderia Sam and Alex CDL coming up behind him, a good over 2 seconds a lap faster on that previous lap. So whether he's going to decide to sort of be a pain in the backside and hold them up a little bit, or if he'll just let them straight through, remains to be seen. He's a sensible driver, so I'm sure he won't make it too easy for them, but I'm pretty sure he's not just going to wave them by.
Absolutely, he's looking in his wing mirrors. You can see the red machine there of Scuderia Sam in his rear view mirror trying to find a way past, and as you said, Stuart, I don't think he's just going to wave him by straight away. And he's run a bit wide there though, and what's going to happen here? Scuderia Sam looks around the outside, and I think he's just going to power his way around the outside there, and Alex CDL will be following him through shortly, I'd imagine. As you can see now, Alex is in that wing mirror, and he's making his presence known, of course, and he'll be wanting to get past. He doesn't want to lose any time here to Scuderia Sam. Big Bad Wolf runs wide again, coming out of turn 1, and there's Alex through as well. So Alex now has got a great slipstream up the hill on Scuderia Sam, so we'll see if he'll be in a position to overtake. But I think Alex will be trying not to battle too hard with him at the moment, because D-Man 221 still got his pit stop to come, and if these two do start battling hard, then they're going to just lose time to the leader, aren't they? So maybe it's just a bit of intelligent driving, biding their time for a bit now.
Yeah, that's probably the way to do it. They're so equal on pace there. D-Man 221 last laps at 1:20.8. Scuderia Sam and Alex CDL at 1:20.5 and 0.3 respectively. So yeah, very, very evenly matched. They're only sort of swinging a few tenths here and there. And I do wish some of these drivers would turn their lights on. It's quite difficult to see who's who at the moment. That's BTCC Dan just getting out of the way there. Yeah, well out of the way.
I don't think BTCC Dan's headlights have worked since Silverstone, to be honest. They never seem to be on.
No. Well, he could have done with them in the Nürburgring. That was quite an impressive display there. But he's keeping it on track today. Unfortunately for him, he made a mistake at the Nürburgring going into the pit lane and got him disqualified when all he really had to do was bring the car home in 8th place, and he'd have got himself 4 points. But looking today, I'm pretty sure he'll be sort of quite pleased just to not be last with all the various shenanigans that have been going on. And looking down the table there, I think we've lost Chris Doherty. Chris Doherty's still circulating. He's just done his 2 visits to the pit lane. We know he's another victim of the I'm not sure if it's connection issues or whatever handling problems some of the drivers have got. But I do think we lost Stuart Davis. Looking at the timer screens, he's dropping back. He's 2 minutes 20 off the lead now. So that'll be a real shame in his fight in the championship with Unfixed Throne, as Alex CDL runs wide there with Big Bad Wolf, both pushing extremely hard. To be honest, I think if they turn their lights on, it might actually really help.
It certainly would, yeah. I don't know what BTCC Dan is doing. He's certainly got his headlights turned off, and I think he's got his traction control off too, because now he slams into the barrier, but not too much damage done. Damage is off, of course, as always, but his bumper's hanging off again, and he's carrying on. But yeah, I think if the lights did come on some of these cars, it certainly would help see where they're going. and now as the sun has set as well, you don't get that dappled effect anymore, and they can pick their apexes a lot cleaner, their braking points a lot cleaner, and in this fast chicane here, that's extremely important, as we see Unfixed Roan very smoothly negotiating that corner there now. But yeah, I think Stuart Davis sadly is out of this race, and he was having great pace. He didn't have the best of luck on lap 1, did he? But yeah, he had great pace. He could have made his way back through to fight with the top 5 or 4 maybe. But yeah, a bit of a shame there for Stuart Davis. It's not great for his championship aspirations either.
Oh no, it's a real shame there. And of course, this is his main rival at the moment. They've been switching positions race after race. So if Unfixed can just keep it on the straight and narrow, which he's doing very well at the moment, this could be a real boost for his championship chances. He's out there at the moment. He hasn't pitted yet, but he's leading the race. He's pretty quick. He's done a 21.6 on his last lap. And yeah, just nice, neat and tidy. He's the only driver out there actually. We don't know what setup he's running, whether he's using controller or if he has a steering wheel, sim rig, or what he's using. So he's certainly the youngest member of Russell's Karting Virtual Racing Group. And he's yeah, definitely one of the more consistent drivers. It'd be interesting to find out what setup he's using. But he's got Scuderia Sam and Alex CDL is just a 1:19.7, absolute belter of a lap in his quest for that first win. And D-Man 221, he's made his pit stop there. He's 5 seconds behind Scuderia Sam now, and yeah, just 2.5 seconds behind Alex CDL. So he's lost a bit of time during the pit stop phase, but don't count him out just yet. He's a consistent driver. We saw it at Brands Hatch, Indy and Hockenheim. He's not one to give up, and he will just keep plugging away, and I'm sure he'll be able to catch them soon. But,
yeah, he's the only driver out there who's managing to still kind of hold on with the pace that Scuderia Sam and Alex are doing. They're the only drivers in the 119s, or remotely close to the 119s at the moment, apart from D-Man 221. So yeah, as you say, he's a very consistent driver. He's a race winner, of course, and if it wasn't for his non-show at one of the events, he'd certainly be still in the mix for a title, the title this year, this championship. And he goes through the last curve. I think he ran a little bit wide over that curve, but it's quite sensible. Rather than fight it, it's best just to kind of ride that curve or go a little bit wide, isn't it? If you fight it, you end up spinning into that wall.
yes, yeah, it's very difficult. Of course, we've seen it. Was it
Unfixed in the pits?
Oh, there we are. Yeah, he's dropped down to 5th place now. Of course, Big Bad Wolf still yet to make his stop as well. So I'm pretty sure Unfixed will come back out in. Should be a nice, comfortable 4th position with a nice. I think Big Bad Wolf's actually the driver he's fighting on track at the moment. So yeah, I think all he's got to do now is bring it home, and he'll have a nice, solid 12 points in the bag. And as you said, maybe if the front 3 get into any scrapes, he might be able to pick them off. But no, another solid performance there from Unfixed.
Definitely. And I tell you who else is having a pretty storming race is Baz Ninja up there in 6th. He's ahead of BDC Sudan and Chris and Stuart Davis. Of course, Stuart Davis is DNF, but Baz Ninja, he has lost a lot of points from certain races. He disconnected in Brands Hatch when he was on for a top 5 finish as well. So Baz Ninja here is putting in a good showing, as we see now D-Man. He's coming up to the back of Big Bad Wolf, and this is a fight for 3rd position as it is at the moment. And D-Man looked on the inside but didn't quite stick it through there, and thought better of it, which is probably sensible to do. It's best to back out and line yourself up for the straight. He's definitely thinking a few corners ahead is D-Man 221 to try and get this pass done. And that's what all the best racers do. They don't just go for it at the earliest opportunity. They think a few corners ahead. Big Bad Wolf, though, a very experienced driver, and he knows where to place a car to make it difficult to overtake, but he has been fighting that car a little bit at this circuit, and D-Man will know that, and D-Man needs to make this pass stick as quickly as possible if he is to have a chance of staying with Scuderia Sam and Alex CDL, who have resumed their 1st and 2nd positions now.
Yeah, he's dropped to about 7 seconds back now. He's losing a good second a lap, squabbling with Big Bad Wolf here. So looks like he's got a good run on him. You almost need to get this move done before you even get to the chicane in order to make it stick, and I think that's exactly what D-Man's managed to do there. So go flying through.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's cut the corner there. I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. The move was pretty much done. And again, although this is for position, they're not really in the same race. Big Bad Wolf actually, the driver he really needs to be thinking about is, of course, Unfixed Throne, who is 13 seconds, so actually he's going to be a good 15 seconds behind Unfixed when he comes out of his pit stop, and yeah, it'll be about 15 seconds ahead of Baz the Ninja. And yeah, talk of the devil, here he is. I'm surprised with the name, yeah, Baslin. I'm surprised he's put his lights on. You'd imagine he'd almost be sneaking around in the background where no one could see him.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, there he is. Where is he now? Kind of the main straight. Yeah, it's quite difficult to pick your braking point there. Visibility is really a premium along that straight there.
I think there is a car just up the head who is being a bit of a ninja because he hasn't got his lights on at all. I don't know if you just saw that, Stuart. He just flashed through this dark, shadowy shape, and I think it might be the dark, shadowy shape of BTCC Dan just up ahead. So Baz Ninja will need to.
With you, as you said, the Nürburgring. It was snow, blizzard, ice, and still no lights. So I would put money on that being BTC Sedan. If it's facing the wrong way at some point, we'll know exactly who it is.
Absolutely, yeah. Or on the roof.
Yeah, that's been a habit over the last few, isn't it?
Yeah, and we'll know whether it's Xbox or PS4 as well. Even if you didn't know watching this race, if you see him on his roof, it's definitely Xbox. And there's Baz Ninja negotiating turn 1.
Turn 1.
Very important not to get on that inside curve. We saw a few drivers in practice getting on the inside curve at turn 1 and literally just rolling the car. Oh, Alex CDL, you can see how hard he's pushing. Just scraped the outside wall there. He's absolutely trying his hardest, isn't he, to catch Scuderia Sam. And this is an absolutely fantastic battle between them. They are both driving absolutely on the edge, waiting for one of them to make a mistake. And they're just pushing each other to faster and faster lap times.
Yeah, they really are pushing along, of course. Two completely different styles of driving. You've got Alex, who's very grabs the car by the balls, rides by the seat of his pants and just absolutely just rags it. And then you've got Sam, who actually sees the racetrack as a series of codes and just drives to preset parameters. The same racing line lap after lap. He is absolutely robotic in his racing line, as Cherry Berry pointed out, as he spent plenty of time staring at the back of that red GT5. And Alex, he's prone to mistakes. He's by far, I would say, the quickest driver out there on most circuits. Sometimes it's not even close. But when you're driving that close to the edge, you will make a few mistakes here and there. And Sam, that is his biggest strength, is just relentless consistency and ability to just pick the braking point, decide that it's quick, it works, and just do it lap after lap, corner after corner. And there's some drivers who just go by feel. If you don't get the feel, then you're not going to get the corner right. So, sometimes driving with an analytic mind rather than with your racing brain can help, and it certainly pays dividends to Scuderia Sam over a race distance.
Yeah, definitely, and we've seen it in karting, of course, as well, with consistency in the ProjectCars2 Championship as well. Some success that has brought him there, and it's not just on the sim racing. But there he is going through up the hill now. But Alex CDL, of course, is a ferocious competitor. He's got the pace to pass Scuderia Sam if he can just catch him and not make any errors. But this is an absolutely fantastic battle here between the two main title protagonists. And this is a pretty crucial race as well, because if Alex CDL can get past Scuderia Sam, this will be a net 14-point swing between which one finishes ahead of the other in the series, and that could actually influence the outcome of the championship, couldn't it?
Oh, definitely, yes, yeah. It's looking quite clear. Alex has made some really good inroads in previous races to get back up to the top of the table after a pretty atrocious start to the season. But since Willow Springs, he's turned it around, and he's put in some great performances. He's had some really intense battles on track as well, namely with Stuart Davis the last couple of races. But what is quite interesting is for all Alex's talent on ProjectCars2, and we know he's got into Dirt Rally recently, he's openly admits that he wouldn't actually be particularly good in a go-kart. He says he's quite hopeless. And he did actually race for A&B Electrical at the Paul Story Challenge at West Wales Karting, the charity endurance series run every October. And he said he actually felt quite a letdown. Of course, A&B Electrical is run by Welsh Taff from the PS4 group, and he's a regular weekly 100 driver and winner as well, with both himself and his sons at West Wales Karting. But it would be interesting to see if one day Alex might be able to translate his pace in the virtual racing over into the actual kart world, whereas as you said, Scuderia Sam, he's done all sorts of karting, D-Max, various team endurances with Stuart Davis, his regular teammate. They actually finished third, I think it was, at Buckmore Park in the 6 hour there at the first time of asking. So Yeah, he knows how to drive to Sam, especially a long race. Yeah, that's Alex. Hopefully, he'll be picking up some tips with all this virtual racing he's doing, and maybe could take it to the real track and show everyone what he can really do.
Yeah, that would be something I'd absolutely love to see. Is Alex get up there in the karting world and maybe enter the weekly events at West Wales Karting or the Pembrokeshire Kart Championship, and see how he gets on there. And yeah, if he could get on the pace there, it would be fantastic to see that. Because he'd certainly be a contender. And we look at Unfixed Road in 5th, and he is certainly a contender in some of these races, especially for a podium. And he's in 5th place. He seems to revert to 5th place quite a lot in a lot of these races, doesn't he? He just drives consistently, as we've always said, and he doesn't make mistakes. And let's hope he can get to the end of the race and pick up that big haul of points. He's got the pace over Baz Ninja, but he hasn't quite got the pace of the top 3, although he just did a 1:21.8, did Unfixed Road, and that's a lot quicker than Big Bad. Oh, what's happened here, Stuart? It's Unfixed Road.
Just stopped in the middle of the circuit, and there's a shadowy figure of BTCC Dan, and I think Unfixed Road is, he's got the same issue as Stuart Davis and the BTCC Dan had at the last round, and I think he's disconnected.
That's a big shame for Unfixed Road because he was doing so well. These are some things that can happen, as you alluded to, Stuart, during the race earlier. And that's a massive shame for Unfixed Road, but that will be a big relief for Stuart Davis because that means that their battle will continue in the championship. A very close battle it is as well.
Yes, and with Chris Doherty snapping at their heels, he's down in 8th place. The middle part of the table is actually going to stay pretty static at the end of this race. I think BTCC Dan, by the time he passes Unfixed Road, he'll be in 6th place, and he'll actually be jumping up the table, certainly getting closer to the guys in front. And we have quite a cool shot of Scuderia Sam, that cameraman, earning his money again, running alongside. But like you said, at least it keeps the middle part of the championship looking interesting. The battle for 4th place is definitely a close one. It's a good opportunity for Big Bad Wolf, actually. He is just off the back of Chris Doherty, I believe, in the standings, and he'll be able to gain a fair few points now at the end of this race.
Yeah, definitely, but Chris hasn't exactly had the cleanest of race so far, but if he was up there in the top 5, which he's in 8th at the moment, he would be absolutely laughing all the way to the points bank with his big haul of points and battle for the mid-table rankings. Alex CDL has fallen back a little bit. He's now over 2 seconds behind Scuderia Sam, but you can see he's still pushing hard to try and catch him. And it's just a question of when, I think, rather than if one of these two make an error at some point. And we'll see who will come out on top. They're just going to push each other to the breaking point, I think, here.
Yeah, I'd say so. And it's the only fight on the circuit at the moment, really. And to give you an idea of what a tough race Chris Doherty's having, he's literally only just passed Unfixed Road for position now. He's having, again, another one of those drivers who's suffering with a strange handling issue. But the only fight on track at the moment is Alex CDL versus Scuderia Sam, and Alex has now dropped to 3.8 seconds back, so he's made a little mistake somewhere, possibly going through the chicane or going up the hill. Of course, if you make a mistake in turn 1 at the bottom of the hill, you pay heavily for it all the way along, right up until this point of the circuit where D-Man's going through now. And of course, with Alex's errors, it's allowed D-Man to close up. He's now just 7 seconds behind. So. And
it also allows some breathing space for Scuderia Sam, who can just relax for a second and not be so on the limit lap after lap. But Alex is going to have to be more on the limit to try and make up the time. And he's on the curb. Oh, and he's spun round. Oh, and he's in the barrier. Alex CDL. He resets the car again, but that's terrible for his chances here. And that's exactly what I was talking about. He made a couple of little errors, and that led to an even bigger error as he was pushing hard to try and make up the ground. And now it puts him back into the clutches of the Irishman D-Man 221 in the green machine. And that's probably one of his worst nightmares now, is that green image lurking in his wing mirrors.
Yeah, D-Man 221, he won't be rubbing his hands together. He'll have him firmly grasped on the wheel, trying to find a way past Alex CDL. But he'll certainly be a happy chappy coming up the hill now, and a bit of Irish luck coming through there. I think he's got the move done. He's just outrun Alex going up the hill. He's got a pole run, as we said just now. You pay for that all the way along the straight. And Alex, he's 1:30. He lost a full 7 seconds in that incident, and that all important second place. So he's right behind D-Man now, so D-Man's not going to be able to relax. He's going to have to keep his foot planted. And as he goes into that long right-hander now, that left front tyre will be absolutely screaming as he's coming around here. And yeah, Alex EDL, he's going to be right behind him. He will be absolutely fuming as yet another spin in this GT5 series.
Yeah, that's not going to help him at all in the point standings, because now he would be losing 10 points to Scuderia Sam if it would stay as it is now. But the good thing is, from a spectator's point of view and a commentator's point of view, is that it gives us a very close battle again now here between D-Man and Alex CDL for second and third. And hopefully this will go all the way to the flag, and we'll see who will come out on top, because these two, of course, are still fighting in the championship. D-Man isn't all that far behind, really. Despite missing an event, and he's had some very strong results, and he's got strong consistent pace. And now Alex is looking at the back of a different car, and he's going to have to try and find a way past this one now. But you were saying there about that left front tyre, Stuart. We had issues with overheating front tyres at Willow Springs a few races back, and some drivers were worrying about whether they needed to change tyres or not. But is that an issue at this circuit as well, whether they need to change tyres?
Well, at Willow Springs, the tyres were, I don't think they were necessarily wearing so much as just not yielding the grip because they were overheating, and that's going to happen whether you've got a new tyre or an old tyre. Obviously it's worse on an old tyre. Whereas here the tyres are actually wearing away, especially that left front going around this long right-hander. So I think a lot of drivers, I think they've all managed to manage. I don't think anyone did change tyres. It was certainly something that was spoken about. But again, different drivers could manage it slightly differently. And again, it's that tie-off between, although you can set it to change just the front tyres, you still do lose a few seconds in the pit stop. Obviously the pit stops, they are mandatory, so even if you don't need fuel or tyres, you still must come into the pits, but any servicing that happens does cost you time, which obviously the drivers didn't really want to give up. So yeah, it's just all the tie-off. If you think you've got decent pace and it's worth just keeping hold of the tyre to the end and maintaining track position and not sacrificing that time, then yeah, it's always best to just stick with what you've got and just hang on and just keep it on the circuit, and yeah, just make the best of it, to be honest. But racing at night, of course, the track's temperature is not as high, tyres don't get worked quite as hard, so I think as the track's cooled down, the tyre issues probably aren't as bad as what they could have been had it been a daytime race.
Yeah, that's a very good assessment, actually, Stuart, of that. And I think Chris Doherty must have the hypersoft Pirellis on, and he's just done a 118.6. Where did that come from?
Depends what track he's using. To be honest, if he's what's this, a 9-turn circuit, something like that, if he's only taken 7 of the corners, then that's probably quite an accurate time.
Yeah, hell of a lap if he did manage that. I think the fastest we saw in qualifying was a 19.2 or 19.3. That was roughly where the top 4 were.
Well,
so yeah, it's a hell.
All I can think of is if he has done that lap as a legitimate lap, he's going to be thinking, why didn't I do it earlier?
Yeah, because he'd be dominating right now.
Yeah, or at any point, just at some point before he was nearly 3 minutes off the lead would have been good.
Yeah, well, we'll see now if maybe he's found a magic bullet somewhere around the circuit and he's going to be lapping in the 118s for the rest of the race. If he does, it's going to be a hell of a last 5 laps of this race. We're on lap 29 now, actually, of 33, which of course there's 4 laps, not 5 laps left. But yeah, let's see what Chris does. He's 19.3 though, the last one. So yeah, look, he's got a hell of a pace here, Chris has. Not quite as fast as the last lap, but he's in the 19s and no one else is in the 19s. Scuderia Sam's done. He's on a 120.1 the last time round. He's quite consistent though, 120.2 and 120.3 I think the lap before that, so he's getting a little bit quicker. And then D-Man221 and Alex are both in the high 20s as they battle away for second place. We look at Baz Ninja now, he's doing 124s. He's probably his slowest pace on the circuit at the moment. He's being caught, I think, by... who is this coming up behind? Is this the battling leaders coming up behind him?
It is, yeah. It's the Green Machine. And there he is, Baz. Courteous driver, is getting out of the way, not wanting to get involved. It's not his fight today, so yeah, very good driving there from Baz. But just getting back to Chris Doherty, it just highlights the strange bugs that this game is. It's a fantastic racing simulator, this game, and but it does have some very, very strange issues, as I'm assuming that's BTCC Dan coming out of the darkness. Again, no lights, so it must be. But yeah, Chris, he's a very strong driver. He's been very quick in previous races, and for him to be trundling around 3 minutes off the lead and then pump in a 19.3, it just shows that something isn't 100% right. And again, BTCC Dan, he shouldn't be 2 minutes off the lead. He should at least be up there fighting with Baz the Ninja. So yeah, it's just there's something not quite right for some of the drivers, but something definitely right for these two. Well, certainly more right for D-Man 221 than Alex. Still holding that second place and not letting go. And Alex will be absolutely ragging that car for all it's worth, trying to get by D-Man. But he knows from previous races, and notably the Nürburgring, and although it was very slippery there in the snow, he had a last lap incident with Stuart Davis where he actually, although he wasn't taken off the circuit himself, he was just distracted by the shiny lights spinning around off the circuit and found himself facing the wrong way before the last corner. So he'll be very wary that stuff can happen right up until the flag. And yeah, pushing D-Man as hard as he can to try and get his position. But Scuderia Sam's now off in the distance on fancy fingers Sam. He's 13.5 seconds in the lead now. And yeah, he's just got to bring it home for the next couple of laps.
Yeah, definitely, and he's not under the pressure that he was now, so he can take it a little bit easier, although actually he's going even faster than he was earlier, so maybe he drives a little bit better not under pressure. And we'll see how D-Man 221 drives now under pressure, because he is under a great deal of it from Alex TDL. And I think if we saw Stuart Davis in this position, he might be flashing his lights at him and all sorts, trying to get him to move out of the way. Why don't other drivers flash their lights like that?
Well, maybe Stuart Davis likes being annoying, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd probably say that was the case actually.
Yeah, it's a distract. Normally, obviously, you see it more in multi-class racing. Maybe IMSA and WEC, where the LMP cars will be coming through the GTs, just letting their presence be known. But especially at night in this on project cars, it's very, very difficult. If a car is flashing its lights at you, and of course Alex, he races on a seat, so he's very much immersed in what he's doing when he's doing his racing. And yeah, you imagine a full beam car on the M4 for flashing its lights in your mirror, it can be bloody annoying.
Absolutely, yeah, never mind a Ginetta G40 racing car when you're trying to pick your braking points at night, having done 32 laps in a heat wave. It's going to be absolutely critical now for D-Man 221 to hold that position. It's bad enough when you've got one of the fastest drivers around right on your tail with 1 lap to go, and Scuderia Sam there, he's on lap 32 as well, so only 1 lap to go after this one. Big Bad Wolf there is still sitting in 4th place. I think he's got Baz the Ninja well and truly covered, but he's a minute off the lead. And Baz the Ninja, I think he's got BTCC Dan well and truly covered, and as I said, Chris as well. I think he's back in his 123s now, Chris is, so he's just not managed to find that consistency. He's got the pace, but no consistency, sadly for him. So yeah, the battle we're really looking at now is for 2nd and 3rd between these two, and we'll see who will get the better of who before the end as they come around now that long right-hander on the penultimate lap. And where's he going to make the move, Alex? I think he's going to have to either line him up into turn 1 or line him up the hill into the chicane, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to have to, he's 1 more lap to try and get it done. He's, to be fair to him, he's been suffering a bit there. I mean, he's downwind from D-Man, it's 30 degrees, so all the drivers are going to be absolutely minging at this point in the race. So, and Alex is round, he's gone, the mistake's been made, the bumper's off,
and he's
the bonnet's off.
Made a mess of that Ginetta and the pit lane entry, and I think his car's going to be absolutely minging now as well, because it's lost a lot of bodywork there, and that's a big shame for Alex, because it would have been great to see if he would have got a run or not on D-Man 221 up the hill, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely, but D-Man, he's breathing a sigh of relief. He'll be just trundle round to the end now. Here's Scuderia Sam, he's not chucking it around, he's not kicking the back end out too much there. He still did a 120.1, so he's still pushing. Even though he has got that 14-second lead, but he comes round the long right-hander, and of course by taking the win here now with Alex in the 3rd place, theoretically speaking, that puts Sam in a position where he could win the championship at the next round. There's a few things to go in his favour for that to happen, but here he comes now up to the last corner, and round he comes nice and smooth, nice and steady to take yet another win in this GT5 Championship.
Yeah, I think that's a few wins in a row now, isn't it, for Scuderia Sam? So Alex EDL needs to... 1:19.6 as well in the last lap. Not a bad last lap there. Definitely pushing to the end. But yeah, Alex CDL needs to really break this trend now, or someone needs to break this trend to try and get the championship back on track. And there's D-Man very happy to be coming home in seconds, considering he was in a battle there, a dogfight with Alex, and Alex is going to take third position. But Donington's up next, and anything can happen there. It's a fantastic close circuit for racing, and that's Chris Doherty in the wall.
I hope he hasn't disconnected. If he no, there he is. He's slightly unorthodox. That's good. If he disconnected there, obviously he'd have lost his points, unfortunately. So yeah, as long as he gets across the line, be it backwards, forward, whatever he wants to do, brings it home and he gets a nice solid 6 points. Yeah, that's the taking part prize today, that one.
Yeah, and in terms of flourishes at a finish, I think that's not a bad one, to be honest. And I think he might win the award at the end of the season if we do spot awards or whatever they're called. And there's a shadowy shape of BDC Sedan coming down the pit lane. Are they going to hit there after the finish line? No, not quite. No, anyway, here's the results. Goodrear Sam first, D-Man 221 in second, Alex CDL finished in third after a couple of close battles, a couple of errors. Big Bad Wolf in fourth, Baz Ninja very handy fifth position, BDC Sedan in sixth, Chris Doherty there in seventh after a disastrous race and all sorts of consistency issues, but had the pace. And then we had a couple of connections with Stuart Davis and Unfixed Road, of course, unfortunately for them, but they're still in a tight battle for the championship, Stuart.
Yes, yeah, as you can see there, we've got obviously Cherry Berry's not available for the next few races, unfortunately. But yeah, right from Big Bad Wolf in 8th position all the way up to Stuart Davis in 5th. Yeah, it's 8 points in it. That's nothing really with 3 races to go.
Yeah, it's all to play for, and also all to play for in the Teams Championship. It's not going to be great news for Team Knotmates if Cherry Berry's not going to be available, but if Scuderia Sam keeps on his current form, then possibly he could could get that team still back in first place. But Team Island are snapping at the heels, and so are Team Unfixed CDL, and hopefully Crazy Stew Pot will be back in action soon as well. So join us next time for round 7 of the Ginetta Virtual Racing Championship.